Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. RSV, the common cold virus that can be associated with severe disease in young children and older adults, has been on the rise in local hospitals. Reports across the country show that hospitals in 36 states are seeing a rise in pediatric hospitalizations for RSV, the flu, and other respiratory viruses. Dr. Ben Nelson, a pediatric pulmonologist at Mass General for Children, said, quote, "It is an extremely common virus that almost all children become infected with by the age of 2. Most children will have just mild symptoms of a cold, such as a fever, a runny nose, or a cough," end quote. Doctors are saying a side effect of strategies during the pandemic may cause more spread than usual and more severe cases. Experts say parents shouldn't panic and that there are things that you can do to help minimize spread of the disease, such as hand washing, covering your mouth when coughing or sneezing, and staying at home if you have a fever or are not feeling well. As all of Massachusetts counties have moved to the medium risk category for COVID-19 transmission, the state is preparing for a possible winter surge. COVID risk levels assessed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have seen an uptick across the region in recent weeks. 2 new variants have also begun showing up in New England, known as the BQ1 and BQ11 variants. The 2 new variants account for about 7.1% of COVID cases in the area now. Local doctors said they expect some level of a winter surge, especially with the new variants, but confirmed there isn't any new data to suggest the new variants will cause more severe disease. Dr. Sabrina Asumu of Boston Medical Center said, quote, "My big message is, unfortunately, we're seeing more variants and the virus is actually figuring out better ways to evade our protection. But we're not hopeless and it's not a helpless situation. We have vaccines, they actually work, but the key thing is that you have to be up to date," end quote. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health is urging residents to get their flu shot and COVID-19 vaccine or booster as flu season is underway. According to the department, October is the ideal time to get a flu vaccine before the flu season reaches its peak. Every person over the age of 6 months old is recommended to get a flu shot annually, and those over the age of 65 are recommended to get a high-dose flu vaccine. Public Health Commissioner Margaret Cook said in a statement, quote, "Every flu season is different, and while it is difficult to predict severity, vaccination remains the best way for people to protect themselves, their loved ones, and their communities against flu," end quote. You can schedule a flu shot with your physician or at any local CVS and Walgreens locations. Although the state is not reporting daily COVID-19 health trends anymore, the Mass DPH is still monitoring and reporting health trends on a weekly basis. On October 21st, newly released metrics showed that over 115,000 molecular tests were conducted and 7,408 new positive cases were reported in the last week. As of October 19th, 253 people are hospitalized in Massachusetts and 85 are in the ICU. 58 new deaths were also reported in the last 7 days. The town of Braintree also continues to monitor COVID data from the state. In the last 2 weeks, ending on October 21st, the town hall reported 47 new positive cases. The town hall website now shows a total of 11,539 positive cases since the start of the pandemic. There have been no new fatalities reported in 5 months, keeping Braintree's total deaths at 137. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
It's that time of the year again, flu season. Getting vaccinated against the flu and COVID-19 can help keep you, your family, and your community healthy. You can even get both vaccines at the same time. Visit mass.gov/flushot to learn more.
Welcome back. The deadline to register to vote is October 29th. If you're not sure of your voting status, you can check your credentials on the Secretary of State's website at sec.state.ma.us. Voters in Braintree will head to the polls on Tuesday, November 8th for the 2022 general election, but have the option of early in-person voting at Braintree Town Hall beginning on October 22nd through November 4th. Voters also have the option to vote by mail, but applications must be received by the Braintree Town Clerk by 5 p.m. on November 1st. Ballots can be returned by mail, emailed, faxed, or returned by hand to the clerk's office. In addition to races for governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, there are several contested congressional contests and key races at the state and local level, as well as 4 ballot questions. Residents who use wheelchairs brought their concerns about access at Braintree Town Hall to the Town Council last week to discuss a plan to provide ramp access to the building's back door. The Council took up 2 spending requests from Mayor Charles Kokoris during its most recent meeting, with $55,000 going toward the cost of a new access ramp at Town Hall, which would come from the town's Community Preservation Act money. With the cost of masonry to match the building, the total cost of the project would be $215,000. The ramp leads to a door at the rear of the building that opens into the Cahill Auditorium. Crystal Evans, a member of the town's Commission on Disabilities who uses a wheelchair herself, questioned the location of the ramp and that it may violate the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act and state regulations. Evans told the council, quote, "Until people with disabilities have the same access as everyone else, we live as second-class citizens," end quote. Building Inspector Russell Forsberg said placing the ramp at the building's main entrance would require an extensive reconstruction of the front of the building. Taub said anyone having problems gaining access to the building by the ramp should contact the mayor's office. Martin Gomez of Braintree was the 12th person sentenced on drug trafficking related charges in what the feds are calling the Operation Snowfall case. Gomez was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Richard G. Stearns to 4 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release this week. Gomez pleaded guilty in June to conspiracy to distribute and possession with intent to distribute cocaine, and to possessing ammunition as a convicted felon. According to court documents, law enforcement investigated drug trafficking activities, gang members, and associates in the Commonwealth Development in Brighton, formerly known as Fidelis Way, a multi-apartment public housing development. During a search of Ngomez's home in June 2020, ammunition, crack cocaine, 2 loaded firearms, and over $360,000 were recovered. The Federal Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force's investigation received help from the police in Braintree, Canton, Randolph, and Weymouth. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the Norfolk and Plymouth County Sheriff's Offices also helped in the investigation. On Tuesday, a jury awarded Fred Weichel $33 million after spending nearly 36 years in prison for a 1980 Braintree murder he says he did not commit. Claiming Braintree police ignored evidence of his innocence, Weichel, now 70 years old, was arrested at the age of 28 when he was convicted in 1981 for the murder of Robert LaMonica, who was gunned down on Commercial Street in Braintree shortly after midnight while returning from work on May 31, 1980. Then in 2017, Weichel was released after a Braintree police report that was never handed over came to surface, suggesting someone else could have committed the crime. Weichel now has filed a civil suit in the U.S. District Court against Braintree, the police department, the late former police chief John Polio, and other former Braintree police officers, as well as former Boston and state police officers. The suit charges investigators of deliberately and intentionally framing him for a crime in which he was innocent. That lawsuit is moving forward in federal court. Lori Melchionda was 59 years old when she was shot at her Braintree home in June 2020. Her death devastated the community, who all came together to show their love and support to her friends and family. Her son, Rob Melchionda, said it didn't take long for his family to realize they needed to do something to continue their mother's work. So Juliana, Anthony, and Rob started the Lori Melchionda Foundation with a focus on community, education, and health, 3 things their mother was passionate about. Since its inception, the Lori Melchionda Foundation has raised more than $200,000 through an annual golf tournament, a 5K race, a Boston Marathon team, and other fundraisers. The foundation supports the Lori Melchionda Scholarship Fund at UMass Boston to help students in the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. The second annual 5K for Lori's Love of Life is scheduled for 11 a.m. on Saturday, November 12th. Registration for the 5K for Lori's Love of Life will open at 9:30 a.m. at Braintree Town Hall, and the race will start at 11 a.m. with walkers to follow. To register or for more information, visit LoriMelchiondaFoundation.org. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BKM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Stopping smoking, vaping, or using other tobacco or nicotine products takes time and courage. Calling 1-800-QUIT-NOW is a great first step. Get connected to a trained Quit coach by phone or online. They'll share ways to curb cravings, handle life's big and small stresses, and tackle relapses with you. No lectures, no judgments. Reaching out and getting support can double your chances of quitting. So, take the first step. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or enroll online at mass.gov/quitting.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. Last Friday, a federal appeals court issued a temporary stay on President Joe Biden's plan to cancel billions of dollars in federal student loans. The stay ordered the Biden administration not to act on the program while it considers the appeal. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals issued the stay while it considered a motion from 6 Republican-led states to block the loan cancellation program. The 6 states also asked the district court for an injunction prohibiting the administration from implementing the debt cancellation plan until the appeals process plays out. The order came just days after people began applying for loan forgiveness, and it was not immediately known. The plan, announced in August, would cancel $10,000 in student debt or $20,000 for those who received Pell Grants. Current college students qualify if their loans were disbursed before July 1st. The plan makes 43 million borrowers eligible for some debt forgiveness, with 20 million who could get their debt erased entirely. After 2 years of virtual celebrations, the New England Wildlife Center's annual Halloween fundraiser will be an in-person event this year. While different from the long-running Night of 1,000 Faces, the family-friendly event Carve-A-Rama includes pumpkin carving, educational animal demonstrations, food, and more. CEO of the Wildlife Center, Katrina Bergman, said the event is a way to dip their toe back into in-person events and bring the community together in a way that's safe for the staff and the public. For a donation of $5, people will be able to carve pumpkins, which were grown and donated by the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department. People will be able to either take their pumpkins home or leave them behind. Then on Sunday, the day before Halloween, pre-carved pumpkins will be on display outside the center and sold for a small donation. All the money raised will support wildlife and education. Carve-A-Rama is scheduled for 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, October 27th and 28th, and from noon to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 29th. Patriot Place will host the annual Trick-or-Treating Spooktacular, holding 2 trick-or-treating sessions on Thursday, October 27th. Children and their families can trick-or-treat throughout the North Marketplace, collecting candy from their favorite Patriot Place shopping, dining, and entertainment destinations. Some treats include nut-free and gluten-free options, along with other giveaway items and non-candy treats to children with food allergies. The event is free, but interested participants need to register in advance exclusively through the Advantage app, which can be downloaded off of the Patriot Place website at patriotplace.com. The Trick-or-Treating Spooktacular's first event will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the second event will be held from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, October 27th. For more information about the event, you can visit patriotplace.com/trick-or-treating spooktacular. Anton's Cleaners is holding its 28th Coats for Kids and Families Winter Coats Drive, which started on October 3rd and is continuing on until January 8th. This year's goal is to collect 50,000 new or gently used coats ranging from extra large jackets all the way to infant and toddler sizes, which are especially in demand. After being cleaned by Anton's, donated coats will be distributed through the Coats for Kids Distribution Partners Network. More than 1.1 million coats have been donated since the program began in 1995. About 52,000 coats were collected in last year's drive alone. Donations can be dropped off at Anton's Cleaners, Enterprise Bank, or at a Jordan's Furniture location. Locally, there are Anton shops at 125 Hancock Street. For more information, you can visit antons.com/CFK. On October 15th, hundreds of children got to pick out a Halloween costume at the costume giveaway held by Interfaith Social Services. More than 200 families were invited to a special shopping day where their children could choose Halloween costumes, books, pumpkins, and candy at Interfaith's offices on Adams Street. Executive Director Rick Doan said helping families in need and serving children has been a centerpiece of Interfaith's mission since they were founded 75 years ago. And he thanked all the members of the community who were able to make the events like this happen. For more information, you can visit interfaithsocialservices.org. Thank you for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment.
Mosquitoes are still hard at work, even after Labor Day. So protect yourself and your family from bites and the illness they can cause. Use an EPA-approved repellent and wear long clothing, especially at dusk and dawn, when mosquitoes are most active. Learn more.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. First in entertainment news, Netflix is changing its policy on password sharing and will start charging people to share accounts. Currently, a Netflix account holder can add up to 5 profiles to their account. Now, with the new policy, those profiles will become sub-accounts that cost additional money starting in early 2023. You can still use the Netflix account while outside of your physical home, on your tablet, laptop, or phone, but it will technically be one account, which you can add sub-accounts to. The streaming platform has already rolled out this model internationally in Argentina, the Dominican Republic, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Customers in those countries pay an extra $2.99 per month to add additional homes to their account. Netflix has yet to specify if the cost would be the same for the US. Now let's get into some Halloween movie recommendations. From the director of Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline, Henry Selick and screenplay writer Jordan Peele come together to create Wendell and Wild, based off of Selick and Clay McLeod Chapman's unpublished book of the same name. Kat, voiced by Lyric Ross, is a troubled teen haunted by her past and must confront her personal demons. Wendell and Wild, played by Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, start a new life in Kat's old hometown. The two devious demon brothers enlist the aid of 13-year-old Kat to summon them to the land of the living in order to face their arch-enemy with the help of the nun sister Helly, who is notorious for expelling demons. However, the brothers are not only plagued by her, but also by her altar boys. You can watch Wendell and Wild on Netflix on October 28th. Next in entertainment is The Curse of Bridge Hollow. Sid, played by Priya Ferguson, and her parents move into a small town where everyone is obsessed with Halloween, though her father, played by Marlon Wayans, doesn't seem to understand the festivities. Sid, trying to adapt to the new town, discovers a man called Stingy Jack died in her home. While exploring the house, Sid accidentally lights a candle that brings the town's Halloween decorations to life. Sid and her father now have to team up to save the town and stop the mischievous spirit from taking over. The Curse of Bridge Hollow came out last Friday, and you can watch it now on Netflix. And finally, Bodies, 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 starring Pete Davidson, Amanda Stenberg, and Rachel Sennett, tells a hilariously terrifying story when a group of 20-something-year-olds gets stuck at a remote mansion during a hurricane. A party game ends up going very wrong, resulting with a dead body and fake friends at every turn, as they try to find the killer among them and stay alive. You can watch Bodies, Bodies, Bodies on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. That'll do it for news today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.